Welcome to the Prospectors Radio Show, the talk show for our community. Please welcome Rich Cooley, Indiana Gold Hunter Dennis Dayton, Kathleen Biffle, and your host, Tim Grimes.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Prospector Radio. I'm your host, Tim Grimes. Joining me tonight, as always, we got Kathleen and Shad Biffle, Dennis Dayton, Rich Cooley, and also we're joined by a very special guest tonight, Mr. Kevin Hoagland. Hey, Kevin, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I am fantastic, and it's really good to be back. It seems like it's been forever since I've been here.
I can't remember when it was the last time. It's been a while. I know you've been
at
busy.
least I think I dropped in once or twice over the last year and a half, but I've just been so busy over the last year and a half that almost everything's been out the window.
Right, that's why we said we got to get you back on here, because we've been hearing a lot of things, all these different things going on and claims, and it's like, wow, Kevin's been busy. We need to get him on and see what's going on.
Oh, very busy.
Yeah, so it's like, what has been happening? I mean, I hear about all these new claims up in Idaho. I hear you claiming up with some AMRA properties also as well. There's a lot of different things going on. So I wonder if you could just let us know.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, to me, it's almost where do I begin? I don't know if you know this, but I basically took over the claims department about a year and a half ago, and went through and started looking at the entire program and what was going on and making some changes. But one of the things I wanted to do was just really start using the online mining guide and getting that working for the members to help me make some decisions on some of the claims. Well, at the beginning of the year, towards the end of last year, AMRA, we had done a fundraiser with AMRA and helped them raise $50,000. Mm-hmm. So out of just nowhere, after we basically handed them the check, as Shannon just turned around, called me and said, "Look, we're going to give you a couple of dozen claims, and some of them we're just going to give to you, and some of them we'll just we'll just share."
Right.
And that way it'll be AMRA members and GPA members both. So to me that was just an absolute win, because really, AMRA members are GPA members, and GPA members are AMRA members.
Right, true. So
it just really worked out very, very well as far as that was concerned. And that was about 12 claims, including the Forgotten Patriot, the Idaho claim that Shannon had. And actually, Shannon tried to quit claim that over to me.
Oh, really?
And since that one's been kind of ground zero for a lot of things, I asked him, I just talked to him a few more weeks ago about it, and I just asked him, I said, "Man, why don't you hang on to that one? Mm-hmm. That one's going to be real important. We'll just continue to share it, but that's going to be an awfully important claim."
Gotcha.
As we move forward, as we start looking at land rights and different things a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And then from there, it's just been, I've worked with a lot of our members and cutting some of the fat back and looking at some of the claims and just really basing a lot of things that I was doing on what the online mining guide was doing, how members were reacting and what they were doing. And, I'm so proud of so many of the members that have just taken to the online mining guide and they're using it, and it's getting a lot of good information. And more importantly, it goes all the way back to members helping members become better prospectors. So that was something that was, part of what George wanted to do, what the Buzzard wanted to do at the very beginning.
Right.
And so the online guide's been able to do that. And by doing that, it's given me the opportunity to really look at some of the claims and make some decisions. And then last year during the filing, oh my God! You know what, Tim? It's been almost 2 years.
Really, it's been that long?
Yeah, it has been almost 2 years, because I think I talked to you in February of last year.
Okay.
Yeah, or the year before, because whatever. It's been a long time, but by going over a lot of the things that we had on the online mining guide and looking at a lot of that, it allowed me to make some decisions last year for the filings that freed up some money to where we could really start looking at some more East Coast budgets. Okay. I've always had the least money there,
Right.
But I wanted to really open it up to where if there's that one particular piece of property that just got right in front of us, I didn't want anything that would slow it down. Mm-hmm. So by taking care of some of that, opened up some lease money. I still have lease money. I still have budget for leases in the eastern states. That's all there is to it.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I've got some really aggressive state directors that are out there and looking at some places. North Carolina is one of them where we're really looking at some property right now. Mm-hmm. And then we've got a couple of other states that I've got some people looking at. Actually, I think they're out testing one of the areas this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're not slowing down. We're really not slowing down. And then this year, with all the filings, of course, the BLM July 1st decided to raise all of their claim fees.
Right.
And that hurt.
Oh, yeah,
it really did. But I also see it as a wonderful opportunity. It was a painful pill to swallow, considering how many claims that we have. Mm-hmm. And when I read the reasoning or the fact sheet from the BLM that they'd sent out, they actually were not in a position to where they had to take this to public or anything else. They could just make that decision. But it was very interesting because they were saying that this raise was going to basically create about $5.4 million every year in revenue.
Gotcha.
In the claim fee increase. And then it started talking about the 27,000 claimants across the BLM states. Mm-hmm. And out of those 27,000 claimants, it gave the exact how many acres were actually the number of claims and everything else like that. And that came out to every person that is a claim holder has about 17 claims.
Wow. Okay.
Which is completely erroneous. Those numbers are completely skewed because, if you own over 10 claims, you're an association, someone like that.
Right.
And then what it did say, the next line was, but these numbers are skewed because the majority of the claim holders in the Western United States are multinational companies.
Okay.
And that got me excited.
Gotcha. Because
the last time that we had claim fee raises, when it went from $155 per claim to $155 per 20 acres.
Right.
I kept a really good eye on the LR 2000, and what I started doing was looking at some of these areas where major mining companies had some of these areas under claim that it wasn't the best area. It wasn't where they were just going to absolutely go in because, when they go in, they're looking for something that pays $80, $90, $100 a yard, something like that, wherever they can get in because of just the cost of what it costs to get in there with their big trucks and set up the, everything else that goes along with it.
Right.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of those places are perfect for small mining.
Gotcha.
They're on the peripheral. A lot of them are on the peripheral. They're easy to get to. They're, and I don't mean easy to get to. The gold is plentiful, mm-hmm. but it doesn't match what they need as far as their cost per ton and their recovery and everything else like that.
Right.
So a lot of those claims got dropped.
Oh wow. Okay.
On that first run.
Gotcha.
So what I'm waiting for is about September 15th or September 20th when the LR 2000 starts getting caught up. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at some of these areas where some of these multinational companies or some of these bigger companies are dropping claims. Mm-hmm. And then immediately get people out there and start getting teams out there starting to look at some of these areas.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because I picked up, at the last rise, I managed to pick up 4 claims for myself that were very good claims.
Uh-huh.
very good claims, and they just didn't meet what a major corporation needed for mining. But for my small scale stuff, they're phenomenal.
They're perfect.
So there was no headaches, no issues, no worries. So I think it's going to be a wonderful opportunity. And if people are out there and they're looking to get their own claims, start taking a look at some of the multinational companies. Start taking a look at those companies that are out there, and then go to their websites and read what they're talking about, because they can't sell blue sky.
Right.
And they talk a lot about what they're doing, and they talk about these areas that they're working, the proposed areas, and so on, so like that, and what the expectation is. And a lot of them just put it right out there on the website. They want to get people to get excited, pick up the phone, call for the prospectus, yada yada yada, and all that other stuff.
Right.
So there's an incredible amount of information, and then when you start seeing that, entire sections are being dropped. Because they're going to hold on to the better ones, but this one's still good, but it's not going to meet what they want, and so on, so like that. Keep an eye on those things.
Yeah, see, that makes perfect sense. It's just because it's not practical for them, that's right up our alley.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and then, I've got to check, because I read something that one of the companies has some holdings in Alabama.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm getting pretty excited about that one. And I don't know if those they were supposedly within the LR 2000 of the BLM, the claimable land, but I'm not sure how that's actually going to work out. I think a lot of that's converted over to private property.
Right.
So we'll see.
That's cool, though. That could be good news.
Yeah, but I've got two, I've got two claims. I've got two leases in Alabama now, and the members are telling me. Well, even what I'm seeing on the online mining guide, this new one that we just picked up, the Atkins AU Prospectors lease. One of the new state directors, Adam Broach, one of my new state directors for Alabama, managed to put that thing together within about a week.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful piece of property, and the gold that's coming off of it has been great. He's prospected this property before, so the one thing I always look at longevity, especially when I'm looking at a lease. I'm looking at how long are we really going to be able to work this thing?
Right.
And this particular lease has been worked more than once.
Gotcha.
So it's something that's replenishing.
Right. Well, that's definitely the kind you like to get.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't. If it's a lease that we can go in and just know that we're going to wipe it out in 5 years of dredgeable gold or something like that, that's fine.
Right.
That's fine. As long as I've got something else on the back side of it there ready to go.
Right.
And that's part of the different plan within the claims department and so on and so on like that. I mean, we've got some very good, stable leases, but I've also looked at a few that I know that we will probably exhaust the reserves within 3 to 5 years.
Gotcha.
So I'm actually working with one gentleman where hopefully we'll pick up about 40 acres that he has now, and in about 6 years from now, if we're all real happy with each other, there's probably going to be another 80 acres that I'll be able to just close down one lease and move it over to the next one.
That's cool. That is cool. That's what we like. I mean, and that's what I mean. It's nice to see that you're out there getting all these new claims for the GPAA members. That it's nice. It shows that you're still out there getting properties. It didn't stop. That you're constantly on the hunt for new properties with more gold to give them places to camp and to prospect and dredge.
Oh yeah.
I think it's great. It don't end. You're just out there pounding the pavement, getting it done.
Yeah, and I do agree. And I am the first one to say that there was a period of time that things became a little stagnant. And this was a few years ago.
Right.
And looking back at some of those, I tell you, here's the bottom line. This year, based upon a lot of the response that I've gotten from members from the online mining guide, I've made some really good decisions about some areas and about some particular claims that I'm going to go ahead and release this year.
Okay.
Because that allows me budget to go out and find better claims in that same area.
Right. That
so,
makes sense.
it doesn't hurt my feelings.
No.
If nobody's using them and nobody's writing about them on the online mining guide,
exactly.
Why bother?
Right.
Why bother keeping it? If nobody wants to go out there and if nobody's using it, that's like having the old Cadillac on blocks out behind the barn.
You're right.
It's not really doing anybody any good.
Nope. When there's could be a piece of land sitting out there that's just waiting, and it's new. Everybody likes new land,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that tickles everybody's fancy. It's like,
oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Doing that just makes sense. It's like you're not using this. They're, like you said, nobody's writing reports. They're finding gold. They blah blah blah. Let's just let this one go and find something sweeter. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Everybody likes new.
So I'm constantly looking, and I pretty well had my mind made up on some of these that I was going to release at the during this year.
Right.
And I really followed them. I've followed them now I've followed them since last year. And a few of them I followed very, very closely. A few of them I just would every now and then make a cursory just glance at it to see how things were doing and what members were thinking of them.
Right.
But in the meantime, given where some of these are located, and I've got some very aggressive state directors in some of these areas, they've been out looking at other areas and doing a little bit of prospecting and doing some things there. So once those are released and everything calms down a little bit, I'll go ahead and start filing some new claims.
Nice. And like you said, I know they're talking, they'd like to see some in Indiana, some new leases, or a lease. I don't even, is what they're saying in the chat. And everybody wants new ones. We'd like to have new ones here in Ohio. It's 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 a struggle. And like you said, I know you like that when members find a piece of land, if they'd call you and let you know about it, you tell them the next steps you need to do in order to get that piece of land. So it's a lot of it lies in the members' hands. That if they're working a piece of land and they like it that much, and it's possible it could be a lease, they need to contact you. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had a few people, and unfortunately, I think this happens with a little bit of a few cases of gold fever or something like that, where I've had I've had a handful of people that said, I'm not going to tell you about where I'm prospecting. I'm not going to tell you about my lease because, it's not even leased. They've got permission from the landowner,
right?
And they won't ask about a lease, or they won't do this, they won't do that, and that's fine. I mean, I understand that. I really do, because there's some of those places that you just really want to keep, but I want something. I want something in Southern Ohio. I absolutely see the need for something in Southern Ohio, and I have budget for Ohio, and I have budget for Indiana.
That's in the good old gold belt.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Indiana.
Yeah,
it's good.
Right.
Really good gold in that area, man.
Yeah, I've got a map on the wall. I took the eastern states and I've created a map based on all the old geological surveys and starting with things that happened from the Reed mine, following that belt all the way down.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then looking at some of the areas that we absolutely know beyond any shadow of a doubt were glacial. Which is, actually, when you really look at it, it's a very, very small percentage of eastern states gold. That gold belt, if I take that gold belt and I start working that, those three gold belts from where the two majors, where I come down from like North Carolina and can come all the way down on that side, then get over there towards Ohio and that valley, the Ohio Valley and all of that, and start looking at that. Ohio, Indiana coming down. And really following it, you'd be surprised at where some of it ends up.
Really?
Yeah. And you take a look at the map and just take a look at what is the gold belt. And as it comes down, let it make a little bit of a left-hand turn, and let it go down and follow it all the way down through Arkansas and Oklahoma.
Wow.
Because we know there's gold in Arkansas, and we absolutely know that there's gold in Oklahoma.
Right. Yep. Very interesting. You know, that would be sweet. I'd like to see you get something like that here in Ohio and in Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that would be cool. So
find them.
Right.
I'm one guy sitting in Arizona.
Yeah, right.
Help. I
1,000 miles away.
absolutely need members' help.
Yeah, you need people out there, their, boots on the ground in them areas that are prospecting those areas. Yeah.
Members helping members.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I stress that, especially with the state directors. The state directors program now is based on the 3 edicts that George used to pound into all of our heads. I mean, I remember the first time I heard it, I was in my, late teens, out at IBAR. And we were all sitting around, and George was talking about it. He said, I started this thing for 3 really, really good reasons. And one of them was to make sure that members always had a place to go prospecting.
Right.
And will always have a place to go prospecting.
Mm-hmm.
And a way to inform members of what's going on. Hence the magazine got started, the Pick and Shovel, his television show, everything, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then his last one, which to him was, I think it was, to me, it seemed like that was the one he was the most passionate about, was just the simple fact of members helping members become better prospectors.
Right.
That's it. It's just that simple.
Right. Sure.
Find and always make sure that we have land, make sure that we keep the membership informed, and always help somebody become a better prospector. And that means listening no matter what level they're at.
Right.
I still learn stuff.
Okay.
And I'm glad I do. I mean, I've never had that. I've never had that feeling that, I know all there is to know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting because I've had some of these guys that have just come up in the last few years in some of the geological chemistry that I've been sitting around and listening to and having conversations with them. And it's amazing to learn about some of these things that, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, didn't even know about.
Right.
Didn't have a clue.
And a lot's changed now, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
The technology that's going into it now, just a lot has changed. So you're still always learning, it seems like. And,
oh, yeah.
And like you said, you get people that are just starting out. They need help. They want to know, and it's always good to try to help them,
Yes, and it should be. I think everybody that's a prospector, everybody that's out there that's done this for more than a year, or even if they're not that overly passionate about it, but they still enjoy it. I mean, I'm passionate about this. I've always have been.
Right.
But there are people that are out there that just do it because they enjoy it. They're not necessarily passionate. They'd rather go play golf.
Yeah.
Which, God knows, I don't even know why. Yeah, I know. I've played a few rounds myself, and I just keep asking myself, why am I doing this? I think I'll just go throw a dredge in the
I'd
water
rather
trap.
be sitting in a creek. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But when you're out there and you have that opportunity to share with something that you're doing, to me that is just that's one of the greatest things. I mean, gold's been so good to me over the years, and I've done so well in it, and I enjoy. I think for me now, one of my greatest joys is watching somebody find their very first gold, or working with somebody when they find their very first gold nugget.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That is a thrill of its own, ain't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And watch that passion and go on like that. I don't know. I put up a little Facebook video that I shot a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, but I talk about I have a very good friend of mine that we've been friends since before high school. And he is as far left as I am far right, politically speaking.
Okay.
But we absolutely get along because the main reason we get along is because we just don't talk about that aspect of it. We just don't talk. And he had watched George. He saw George. This was back in the I think it was in the very, very late 80s or the very beginning of the 90s before he passed away. And George was talking about the humility of being a pick and shovel miner. You know, there's this and so on like that, and you know, just you're out there with a pick and shovel,
right?
And that's what you're doing, hands and pans, hands and pans, hands and pans. And he was talking about the humility of that. And my buddy looked at me because he came over to the house. It was a Saturday morning, and he made the remark to me. He said, "You know, any man that would talk about being humble or talk about the humility of something that he's doing is arrogant."
Okay.
But you know, we used to take pot shots at each other's. You know, so you know, when he was talking about his humility and what it's like being, you know, just a pick and shovel miner and going out there and just, you know, you're just out there doing it. Are you proud? You know, when you're digging a hole, when you're doing this, maybe not. You know, it's what happens in the long run.
Right.
So I explained to him years later, because he did actually call me and he apologized for saying that. And I don't know what prompted that. I haven't got a clue. I think he just realized that maybe he just made a mistake and he just wanted to apologize for one of his barbs. Because I've called him and apologized to him for a couple.
Right.
Not very many, but a few.
Right.
But, yeah, and I just asked him, I said, can I explain to you, you know, what that really means? And, you know, you call it arrogance. And I just used a lot of examples. You know, you get out there with a pick and shovel, you find a little finger vein on the surface, and you start chasing that finger vein down. And you can chase it, and you chase it, and you chase it, and when you get to the bottom of it, you start getting into some very good gold, and you're starting to see the benefits of what you've done. There's no pride in that. You know, you can't. There's no arrogance. There's no arrogance in that at all.
No.
But you can be proud of what you've done.
Yes, you're very proud.
You're very proud.
Yeah.
You know, because you've now created a microeconomy for yourself.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the guy that goes out with a metal detector and digs an oxen shoe. I can't tell you how many oxen shoes I've dug at 1.5 feet, 2 feet out here in the desert. That are under the hard pan, and it takes an hour and a half just to dig the target.
Wow.
And it's not arrogance. I mean, it's just, and the pride to me is that I stuck with it, that I never gave up.
Right.
You know, and so on like that. So, yeah, it just continues on like that. If you haven't seen the video, jump over to my Facebook, take a look at it.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's actually one of my shortest videos I've ever done. I think it's under 8 minutes, which is shocking for me.
Yeah.
I don't do Twitter.
Holy cow, 8 minutes. Man.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't even do Twitter because I can't say hello in 160 characters or whatever it is.
I got you. Yeah, no Twitter for Kevin.
No.
So what do you think about these gold prices, Kevin?
I think... Okay, let me state this.
Okay.
The opinions that I'm getting ready to share are my opinions only and have nothing to do with the company that I work for, any subsidiary, or anybody else.
There you go.
Okay. I have to give that one. Look, we've seen this happen a couple of times, not at this level.
Right.
And you know, we have some hellacious market scares right now. We absolutely have some things that are creating discourse. I mean, that's all there is to it. And that we don't know how things are going. We don't know how things are going to roll out. Well, you know, and of course, whenever people get scared, gold starts going up, gold starts getting bought, drives the price up, and a few other things. But there's also a little thing that I think that we might want to look at as well. And this has happened once before in the last 10 years. there's a couple of third world countries that have an incredible amount of gold.
Okay.
And we've watched some of these countries where they've started to amass a large amount of gold.
Right.
So to me, and this is this is so much speculation. I couldn't, there's no conspiracy theory here. There's nothing.
Gotcha.
I'm just looking at things from a different perspective. But sometimes I think we see some issues happening within the economy. We see some things starting to bump up and down, and all of a sudden gold prices shoot up. And we look at the buying trends, and we look at what's being sold and where things are being sold and where things are being bought,
right.
More so.
Right.
And I think what you will find is that there's a few third world countries that the leaders in gold are basically inflating a price.
Okay.
And having quick sales from some of these countries to get them basically out of the gold market.
Okay.
I mean, there's a couple of places in the world where they've got a lot of gold, and they've amassed a lot of gold over the last 10, 12 years.
Ah.
And there's nobody that wants, there's no ally nation anywhere around, or even within the same continent, that want to see, some of these places that have some of these warring places that base everything that they do on coups and so on like that.
All right.
To have that much control.
Sure.
In a world market.
Yeah, right. I agree. That's nuts. It's
that's not a conspiracy theory, and I'm not looking for the helicopters or anything else.
Gotcha.
And it is a speculation, but what I've done is I've gone back and I've looked at what happened at the last big bump, and thought about what was going on in some of these other countries and where the buildups were coming from, and then looking at it again now, knowing what some of the production's been in some of these other countries. So it's an interesting. I would like to think that some of this is inflated, and that we will settle out. But in the meantime, it sucks because it's getting a little tough to sell. If I've got a couple ounces of gold that I want to sell, it's getting a little tough to be able to sell that.
Right.
If I wanted to sell it to somebody, just a chapter that wants to buy an ounce of fines.
Right.
That's a little tough right now.
Gotcha. Now, are you guys seeing a spike in memberships now that gold prices is going up? Or they're,
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say it. We haven't seen I'm not going to say that we've seen a spike. I'm going to say that we've seen the curve starting to move up, moving upward a little bit more than what it normally does.
Gotcha.
When we look at our membership and we look at the steady climb.
Right.
You'll have these bumps, and this is one of those things that has been a little bit of a bump, I think, for right now. But the prices haven't been up long enough for people to really get that excited about it yet.
Right.
And I think more importantly, there's a lot of people that are waiting to see what happens between what's going on politically and what's going on between different countries and so on like that. I think that a lot of people are looking at it to see what's going on politically before they start jumping in. And that's typical.
Right.
That's so typical. If you look at any time, if you go back into the 80s when gold hit, when gold made that huge jump to $800 an ounce and then went up a little bit more and so on like that. That was because there was a lot of things that were going on, and there was some unrest that was happening, and it wasn't an immediate reaction. It took a little while for that reaction to start. Right. And then you saw the peak, and then it steadied out. The good thing is every time we have a peak like this, when it does steady out and when it does become almost a flat line again, it's generally a couple of $300 more than what it was previously.
Right, when it finally settles down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And which is always nice, sure. So I just was wondering, because it seems like every time prices go up, everybody wants to try prospecting and becoming a miner. It's like, do they make it? You never know, but they always seem like more come out and want to try it. You know,
Oh yeah,
which is
absolutely,
understandable.
absolutely.
You know, it's because we all get asked all the time. You know, how much gold do you find? I think that's the first question everybody always asks when they find out you prospect for gold. You know, well, how much do you find? You know, it's not about how much we find. You know, it's the joy we have when we're finding it. You know,
Right.
I mean,
And how much is it worth? You always hear that all the time.
Yeah.
How much do you put? How much is that worth?
Yeah, it's like that's not what it's about to us. It's like that's just like that's just what comes with it, you know. But that's necessarily not what it's about. We enjoy looking for it. We enjoy finding it, but that's not what it's all about. I mean, it's
no. And even with me, where gold for so long has been a business for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I took the sheer joy, I can say this, gold has pretty much always been a business for me. I find gold, I develop whatever I can, I sell, and so on like that. But when I start thinking about it, I get into an area and, I start to develop the area. The whole goal of this is I'm getting out there, I'm having a blast, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's all said and done and that little project's over, I break it down and I said, okay, here's my cost. This is what it cost. And I take that gold and I said, okay, that's gone. That's already gone. This is my profit. Oh, good. I'm going to go buy a new dredge, or I'm going to go get a brand new metal detector or something like that. I've always paid for my prospecting.
That's what's cool.
Yeah, I've always paid for my prospecting by prospecting.
Right.
And even though I've always looked at it as a business, it's the business that I love. Right. I am so passionate about what we do and how we do it. Mm-hmm. Metal detecting.
But what I always see
all those years with Mine Lab and other things that I've done with other companies and so on like that, I think I've said it on this show. Don't go down the roads that I've gone down.
Right.
You don't need to know how a metal detector works. You don't have to get into how the signal works in the whole 9 yards. Just go out and know that we did our very, very best job to make the very best machine that we could, and go out and enjoy it.
Yeah, just go out there and have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But my thing is, picture like all the prospectors and miners out there. How many of them can literally say that they find enough to pay for their equipment and stuff like that? I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if there's a percentage on that or not. I think for you to be able to do that, I think that's amazing. I would love that. That would. Well,
and Tim, you got to remember, I've been doing. I mean, I'm going into almost my 50th year of prospecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it won't be that long until I'll be in my 50th year of prospecting.
Dang.
They had gold back then?
Yeah, they did. They just didn't have
a
way to get it out of the ground. I mean, it was so hard trying to dig gold out with a wooden shovel.
How hard was it going up that mountain? Man, Jesus God, that was a long time ago.
We hadn't even made it to the Bronze Age when I got started.
man, 50 years. Goodness gracious, they should give you some kind of award.
I built my very first metal detector when I was 9 years old.
Wow.
So, I built my first metal detector when I was 9. I'd already been doing a little panning and learning about gold, and I was hung on it. I mean, I was hooked on it, and there's a whole other story on that one, and I actually got nailed by a guy because I used some music. I created a video to talk about how I got started and everything else that went on with it, and I used some video, or I used some music, and got in trouble, even though I have a license to use music.
Right.
Just one of these ridiculous things, so I pulled it down. But I remember being a little kid and being out in the desert, and the very first time that I ever saw anything about it, and I'll just tell this story very quickly.
Yeah, go for it.
Do we have time?
Oh God, yeah, plenty of time. Go.
Okay, all right. my family, when I was a little kid and we were living outside of San Diego and so on like that, we would go out in the deserts and just have that kind of family thing. Mm-hmm. And one of the places that we went to was outside of Randsburg. And I was out there as a little kid, and I was just out wandering around, just having a blast. I don't even know how old I was, 5 maybe, something, 5, 6, don't know.
Okay.
Don't remember. And I came up over this little ridge, these little mounds that you find out in the desert like that. And there was this guy down there with this old hand crank dry washer.
Right.
And he was just like, cha-chunk, 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 and the dust was coming up and everything else like that. I just stopped and I was standing there looking at him, and he looked up and acknowledged me, and I moved a little closer and moved a little closer. And after a while, he shut down and he was doing a cleanup, and he pulled out of the cloth tray and dumped it all down and had a old panning tub, and he was panning some of that gold, and he walked over. He said, come here, kid. So I walked over, and he said, you know what that is? And he pointed, and I was looking at the pan, and it was just black. It was just black sand.
Uh-huh.
I went, I don't know. I have no idea. It's like dirt.
Right.
And he swirled that pan, and that gold just appeared. Broke out of that black sand, and it just appeared. And he said, do you know what that is? Well, you know what gold is.
Right.
Even as a kid, you know about the color of gold. You know what gold is, and you've learned that in school or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I said, gold. And he went, yeah. But there's something else it is. Do you know what it is? And I went, no, I haven't got a clue. Don't know. And he said, it's eternity.
Okay.
And that is what started my quest.
Oh.
I didn't even know what the hell the word eternity really meant.
Right.
But it sounded so cool. And when you think about it, gold is eternal.
Well,
no matter what, gold's been here. Yeah, it depends on what science you want to listen to or what religion you want to listen to. Mm-hmm. The gold has been here since the beginning.
Right.
It's been here since the formation of this earth. We haven't even scratched the surface. We haven't touched it. But no matter what, gold will always be gold. And when we are gone, gold will still be here.
Yep. Agreed.
Agreed. I can take it from a metal, turn it to a liquid, turn it to a vapor, and bring it all back, and it's still gold.
Yep. It's a pretty
cool. That idea of eternity, and when I learned what that really meant, man, that was it. That quest was there, and it's been there ever since.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's what I mean. 50 years is a long time. I mean, like you said, you've lived your life around it. And you've been successful at it, and it's cool. I mean, you're devoted, work hard at it. You explore all ways of finding it, like you said, from dredging to metal detecting, whatever it takes. You'll get out there and find that gold, and that's what's cool. I mean, it's a passion for you.
No, it is.
It definitely is. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, you live it every day.
No, and I do. And one of the most important things that I've always done is I've surrounded myself with people that know more than I do. Mm-hmm. Always. I mean, when I started really getting into prospecting, guys that were my mentors, like Jim Strait and all of these and some of these really great people that were doing things back in the day. Mm-hmm. I every chance I would read everything that they put out. I'd meet with them. I'd do whatever it took, because I always wanted to be around those people to learn more.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, I think that's where some of the disconnect happens right now. I feel this because there's a lot of people that are out there that are afraid to ask for help.
Right.
If you look at the age group, if you look at the generations before us or behind us, if you look at the people that are coming up behind us, there's a lot of them that are getting interested. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are getting interested in prospecting. Mm-hmm. And I think that they would be even more interested if a lot of them were not afraid to ask the question, how do I do this?
Right.
And I see that. I see that a lot.
Sure.
I've been out where I've watched somebody struggle. and they wouldn't ask for help.
No.
Flat would not ask for help.
No, right. Yep.
But all of us in our generation, and that includes Shad and Kathleen, I mean, they're still our generational, I think.
Oh, man, you putting us in your age bracket?
I think you're you're not a baby. You're outside of the baby boomer, aren't you?
I think he's a millennial.
I think he is.
Ah.
I like him young. What can I say?
Shad's still a baby boomer.
Wait a minute. I'm offended.
Why?
I don't know.
You don't know. It just wants to be.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I need to send you a participation trophy for being in this call tonight?
Yes, made with 10 ounces of gold teeth. Thank you.
Oh, mercy.
I'll send you a ribbon.
That's right.
But I'm watching. I remember 20 years ago, people would ask, "Hey, you're doing that. What am I doing wrong? What?" And they would ask.
Oh God!
And now I've watched a lot of people that are younger folks that I think really want to get interested, but they're you almost have to walk up to them and just like sit down and just do it and teach them that way. Because a lot of times they just simply won't ask.
Right, and I think
that's not indicative. That's not. And I'm going to say that's indicative of everybody.
Right. It's just the world we live in these days, I think. It's just the way things have changed. And like one of our members said, now people, they just go to YouTube. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to ask this guy who's been doing it for 50 years. I'll just get my phone out and look up a YouTube video. That'll tell me how to do it.
Yeah, that's so sad. I mean, I think about it. Can you go to YouTube and learn how to run a gold pan? Absolutely, you can go to YouTube. But you can't go out to YouTube and learn how to run your gold pan.
Right.
Have you ever watched the movie The Legend of Bagger Vance?
Oh God, yeah, a dozen times.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone, and he talks about the one authentic swing, the authenticity of that one swing that's yours, that you'll find.
Right.
But I've watched so many people that won't even give it the opportunity. They spend way too much time walking. They spend way too much time sitting there watching YouTube or trying to figure this out or do this or do that. And they try to go out and they try to do the exact same thing. And if it doesn't work out exactly the way it did for me or the other guy or whatever, a lot of times they get discouraged.
Sure.
They don't find their one unique. They don't find their one authentic swing. The one thing that helps them.
Right.
And I blame a lot of the YouTube. I blame a lot of us. A lot of us that are out there doing YouTube. Yeah.
Right. I know what you're saying. It's just the world we live in these days, though. It really is. I guess it's just more convenient instead of having that human.
Well, it's going to happen though, Kevin. I mean, look, it's a good thing because now you've got the online mining guide. People can go online and look at it now instead of waiting for a magazine to come out. Boom, it's accessible.
Absolutely, and it's really. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I'm just saying, because I've done the same thing when I first started getting into it, and they just started putting videos out, and I wouldn't just watch one. I watched, someone did it this way, someone did it this way, but then I went out and I did my own way.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You had the foresight to do your own thing.
Right.
I'm watching too many people that just watch one thing, and if it doesn't work out that way, they don't go beyond that.
Right.
They don't make that swing. They don't try to find that authentic swing. They don't try to find that thing that works for them.
Right.
When I take somebody out metal detecting, I'm going to talk to them about their settings. I'm going to teach them about how to set up that detector, the particular machine that they've got. I'm going to teach them about all of these little things. And then I just stand back and I watch them and I let them. And if they go too fast, I just kind of give them a little hint. It's like, slow down. You can speed up a little bit. Wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear that. Do this, do that. All these little things. But I don't tell them how. I don't tell them that you have to go out here and you've got this straight line and you stand there in that straight line and you do this, this, and this. It's not an A to Z. There is no A to Z.
Right.
You have the basics, and then you find what works for you. You find what absolutely feels right to you. If you're out there and you're high banking and you just hate high banking, don't high bank.
Right.
You know, doctor, it hurts when I do that. Okay, well, don't do that. I mean, right. and you know, I don't like running big dry washers. I hate big, massive dry washers. So I don't run them anymore.
Right.
I'll run a small one, and I love running little electric puffer boxes. But as far as putting together, you know, getting out there with a really big dry washer or something like that, no, I don't like it. Right. I don't like it, so I don't do it.
But we would, you know, like Dennis said, you know, he would watch the videos and stuff when he started, but yet he would still talk to people as well when he was out on the creek to try to learn. It wasn't just, I'm just going to watch this video and I'm not going to talk to nobody. I know what I'm doing. It's like, I'll watch this video. This gives me an idea of what I'm doing, but yet I want to pick this guy's brain a little bit and see.
Well, another thing I've learned too is, and I know Kevin can attest for this, as will anyone else, I'd be out, you know, even though I've done it for so long, and there might have been someone that new into it that's only been doing it for a couple of years, and I might learn something from them.
Right.
You know?
I learn so much from so many people. I don't care if they're new or if they're old. I mean, it's just that when you take the time to sit down and listen to somebody that's brand new to prospecting, and they share with you what their expectations are, or what their hopes are, or what they're, you know, what they're doing. That's an incredible learning experience. I mean, you get a lot of information from somebody just on something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is true. I mean, it's. I think, I don't know. I think I spent more time talking to people than anything when I started. You know, I really do.
Yeah.
And still do. You know, to this day. You know, it just don't change, you know. I mean, I feel we all have the basics, but there's always more that we can learn, you know. Really do.
Well, I've always told myself the day that I believe that I know everything that there is to know about prospecting is the day that I'll quit prospecting.
There you go.
I just can't see that, you know. The day that there is no wonderment, the day that there is no just standing there looking out and just going, wow, how cool is this that I get to do this? And I've been doing this almost my entire life.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on nowadays with everything. As in GPAA, they got any other thing going on? Up-and-coming things that you can talk about at all? Or?
Well, LDMA, you know, Dominic's been doing a great job on putting together some, putting together some really big dirt parties, what they call the dirt parties, and they just had the Clash of the Trommels up in Oregon, and God, what a fantastic time that was. There was a couple of guys that brought out their different types of trommels, and they ran dirt. It was the closest thing that I would say that I've seen to a small operation in a very, very long time. And they had a blast. They made some good gold, and they ran a lot of dirt. I mean, they just did exactly what they set out to do.
And this is the LDMA claim in Oregon?
Yes. Yeah, this was up at Blue Bucket, and of course they were taking at Burnt River. There's a claim that is associated with it that's associated to the camp that they were actually working and getting the material from.
Wow.
So, and they just had a blast. I mean, they were bringing material down, they were loading things in buckets, and they had a dump truck, but given the slant of the hill or the angle of the hill, there was a little nervousness about driving the dump truck down the hill loaded full of dirt. So they ended up using quads and buckets and things like that. And one of the guys went out and bought 85-gallon buckets. Wow. And I mean, they were having a blast. They moved a lot of material and they did a lot of stuff.
Any nuggets come out of there, or was it just?
I don't know. My problem is come June. Well, that's not quite true this year. In about April, or about the middle of April, I kind of just almost sequester myself, so I can just focus on getting the claims and making sure that everything's going to be filed right, and getting all the counties taken care of, and all of this, and so on like that. But this year I planned on going to Alaska, so I actually started in April, because I took almost the entire month of June off and went up to Alaska, and then as soon as I got back, it's been July and August, just my 12, 14, 16-hour days sometimes.
Oh, geez.
So I don't know. I really don't know. I think there's some articles about it in the magazine, if you want to take a look at the magazine when it comes out. Now, I've got an article coming up about my, it's a 2-part article about the trip to Alaska.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll check
but
that
yeah,
out.
There's a lot of dirt parties that are going on. There's a big LDMA dinner that's going to be held in the East Coast, which I think the one thing I can say is I'm glad to see that happening again. I mean, we used to have LDMA dinners on both East and West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's cool.
I think there's a lot of things happening there. Nice. Within the LDMA. Dominic's just doing a phenomenal job.
Good.
And he's gotten a group of caretakers that every time that I do talk to him and we start talking about the caretakers, he's just as happy as he can be. So we've got caretakers that are looking out for the membership, mm-hmm. and doing a lot of things for the membership and making those things happen. There's a lot of things that are going on within the LDMA as far as that. And when they do the dirt parties, it's not just an LDMA thing. If you're a GPAA member, and in some cases, even if you're not a member, you can sign up and come to one of these things.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, just go to goldprospectors.org, take a look at the dirt parties, the events, and so on like that.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Gosh, what else is going on?
Well, here, Kevin, hold that thought. Let's take a commercial break, and then we'll open the phone lines and see if anybody's got any questions for you tonight, okay?
Perfect.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody.
Do you like to mine for gold? Enjoy prospecting a nice crack in the bedrock? Enjoy getting outdoors to camp, fish, hunt, and hike on your public lands? You plan your trip, load the gear, grab the dog, put the family in the truck, and drive off to a locked gate. The sign says you cannot enter or access your own public lands. Mining claims and public land owned by we the people are being designated as off limits by our own government every single day. Are you concerned about the direction our government is going? Are you tired of seeing no access, no entry signs on your lands? We are, and we are fighting back. We are AMRA, America Mining Rights Association, the fastest growing small mining advocacy association in America. AMRA is a 501c3 not-for-profit formed by miners, hunters, off-roaders, retired military men, and women to stop the insanity. AMRA was formed to educate, unite, and help the small miners and public land users on their rights given to us by God. Do you want access to great mining claims? For a small tax-deductible donation to their miners' legal fund, your family gains access to proven excellent mining claims across America for an entire year. AMRA challenges the USFS, BLM, EPA, and the other agencies intent upon stopping you from enjoying your own lands. You are who pays these people's wages. It is time they listen to us. We need to unite. And that is what AMRA is doing. As you sit here right now, thousands of acres of public lands are being closed, locked, and blocked from use by you. Are you fed up yet? Join us. Get in on this fight and let's restore America to what our families fought and died for. Freedom. Just visit AmericanMiningRights.com. AmericanMiningRights.com. Also, check us out on Facebook at American Mining Rights Association. AmericanMiningRights.com.
In 1858, gold was discovered in the rivers of New Caledonia. This discovery would spark a massive gold rush. Today, the search for gold is much easier, yet still challenging with Dirt Hog Pay Dirt. At Dirt Hog, we pride ourselves on our gold and guaranteed gold amounts. Just visit dirthogpaydirt.com today and buy yourself a bag of the best pay dirt concentrates on the market. Order with confidence in Canada and North America. dirthogpaydirt.com. The best gold concentrates on the market, period. Also, be sure to check out our Honest Bonus program.
You're listening to Prospectors Radio on the Gold Prospectors Space Network. Phone lines are open. Have a question? Give us a call. 419-520-7574.
All right, everybody, we're back. I don't know what that noise is, Kevin.
Sorry.
It's all right. Phone lines are open, 419-520-7574. If you got a question for Kevin, give us a call. I'm sure Kevin will do his best to answer that for you. All right, so where was we? He was talking about the dinner and stuff like that coming up, and how they used to do that. So you say they used to do that a long time ago, and they're going to start doing it again? Is that what's going on there?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to become a normal yearly thing. I mean, we don't do LDMA dinners every year,
right?
But gosh, I remember it used to go back and forth between West Coast and East Coast.
Really?
The last one I remember was right after a gold show.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I think I just started with Mine Lab.
Okay.
That we did an East Coast one. So that was, oh God, a long time ago.
Right. Now, what about gold show schedules this year? How's that thing looking?
The gold show schedules will be in the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of them are already posted.
Cool.
I honestly don't know if all of them have been posted yet.
Right.
But I think, I tell you what, I because I don't know if they've been posted yet, I really can't.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to talk about
them,
where they're going to be and so on like that,
okay.
or when.
Gotcha.
But I will tell you that for a lot of people on the East Coast that's been asking about the gold show schedule and wanting to see some things done a little bit differently, I think you're going to be happy.
Oh,
and I'll just leave it at that.
That's perfect thing to leave it at.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So
yeah.
What's coming up for Kevin Hoagland? What's he got going on here in the near future?
More content.
Yeah.
A lot more content.
And are you still doing the gold trails?
Well, yes and no.
I miss that.
Yeah, I mean, I miss it too, and a lot of people. I mean, I can't go anywhere without people telling me how much they miss gold trails. And gold trails we found the right recipe. We actually had the right recipe. It was doing fantastic.
Right.
It was rating, and it was getting everything that it needed to do. But there was a couple of things. One is airtime has gotten ridiculously high within local markets.
Really?
Within being in some of the major, in some of the bigger markets and so on like that.
Right.
We don't own the outdoor channel anymore. So
right, true, yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
Kevin, YouTube it, man.
Well, yes.
Get it on there.
That's where Gold Trails is going to live. Gold Trails will live on YouTube.
Good.
For the time being.
Right.
But I mean, if you start looking at what's going on in YouTube, I think there's a lot of things. There's a lot of other things to really look at, and I don't believe that. I don't believe that a single platform is going to work. Mm-hmm. It's going to be content driven, and it's going to be everything from sitting there on your smart TV in your living room to being able to watch something on your cell phone,
right,
on your smartphone, and with all the other things that are out there, everybody's screaming for content. So, with my real focus like I said, for my absolute focus for the last year and a half has really been on just really revamping the claims department,
right.
Looking at things, seeing how we could save money for, just freeing up budget, doing different things, creating opportunities.
Right. And
I'm happy about that.
Right,
now.
it's been a success. It seems like.
So hey, we got 2 leases. How long has it been since we've had? Actually, I can say we've gotten 3 leases. Because I worked out a deal with Jeff Lambert over at Alabama Gold Camp.
Right.
And picked up a piece of property that he had, and then the Atkinson lease in Alabama, and then the Texas lease on the Brazos River.
Right.
And
see, that's what I said. That's progress. It's success. Your plan is working.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
So I'm committed to now that I can slow down on that, I'm going to start getting a lot of content. Honestly, I've been putting together a few podcasts and things like that. Strictly podcasts. They're not. Guys, you know what? I got to tell this entire team right here, I have more respect for you over all these years that I've been on this show or listened to the show or gone back and listened to different things. That you are in this grind every week to do this, and then twice a week with the West Coast show and everything else. I'm doing some podcasts where sometimes it's just me, sometimes it's just an interview, but it's a podcast. I mean, there's no call-ins, there's nothing live. It gets edited, it gets conversation, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
I've got the highest respect for this group right here. This group that is on this phone or on this call right now.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and quite frankly, one of the things I thought would be kind of funny, and I was going to actually talk to you about it later on, but I'm going to ask you right here with God and everybody listening. I want to do a podcast about what it does, what it takes to be able to put together this show.
We're in.
Yeah, I figured you would be.
yeah, you had to twist my arm a little bit, but
yeah. Exactly. So, and then doing a lot of looking at doing a lot of different content. And one of the things that we found was the most successful thing with Gold Trails was not just going out and testing, working with different pieces of equipment, but it was the people that were involved.
Sure.
So, my direction and what I'm working on and a few things that I've already got shot is that it's about me being out with members.
Right.
And the members basically direct what's going on.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm looking for. And, I don't even like standing around listening to myself or watching myself on TV for more than about 2 minutes. It just drives me absolutely crazy. And, so the idea of being able to go out and showing up in Ohio and going out with a group of people in Ohio where, we're going out to lease or we're going out to do this and it's all about how they prospect in that area.
Right.
And, just doing different things.
Sure.
And then, whenever I can help and teach or whatever, then that's going to be another big part of it as well. There'll be shows that are strictly about metal detecting. Actually, there's a couple of them right now.
Sure.
So, the long run is that it'll be back. It'll be on, and it will be on YouTube. But I have another job. Right. It's crazy because that was another thing that just really hurt us on Gold Trails is that all of us involved have another job within the company. And to get out there, it's like we had a beautiful offer from RFD, the television station.
Right.
Beautiful offer. But they wanted 26 episodes, and then as soon as they got to 26, after those aired and they went into rerun, they needed another 26. That was their demand.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, 52 episodes a year is what they're looking for.
That's a lot.
Can't do that.
No, it's a lot. That'd be a lot of money too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
God, how much is?
Oh, it's
yeah.
If even if money was not the issue, if money had no issue to be with the, as far as that was concerned, to me, money would be an issue. So
yeah. So why don't you like take it to what's that? Oh darn it! Like PBS or something, public broadcasting stations. Ain't that how the Buzzard started out back in the day?
Well, what he did is, and where I first remember seeing him was on like local stations to where they had like the community channel. It wasn't really a PBS.
Right.
It wasn't really a PBS public broadcasting channel. It was the community channel.
Gotcha.
And he got on a few of those, and then as that started to grow, then he started buying time in marketplaces. Then of course, the rest was he wanted to get his word out a little bit further, and he got tired of the way the people were charging him for this and that, and da-da-da-da. So he just started his own television company. Oh, okay.
Right. Right. Yeah, I always thought he started out like on like the PBS, like you said, the public thingies, because it was probably free or inexpensive, and he moved up from there. I mean, that's why I would think that.
Yeah, well, the community channels are the same way. And he may have been in a couple of markets on PBS, on a public broadcasting station.
Yeah, I think that's where I seen him.
Don't remember.
When I was a kid. I think that's where I seen him, was on the PBS station. And it didn't come on every week. I mean, it was one of them things. It might be on once a month, but it was always really cool. And that's where what got me was that back then. And it was like, there ain't no gold in Ohio. Quit, dream on. You gotta,
yeah.
Boy, it took a lot of years to realize there was.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've laughed about some of the places where people have told me that there's just simply no gold.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'll use one as a great example. Arkansas.
Oh, really?
There are people that will tell you that there is absolutely no gold in Arkansas.
See, I thought the same thing.
Look up the mining history in the state of Arkansas, in the northeast corners of Arkansas, and look at the gold production.
Okay.
Yeah.
See?
Wanted to keep it hush hush.
Yeah, but they do a good job of it. Yeah,
they did. They did a really good job. And of course, when you get into Arizona, when you get into areas like Oklahoma and then going down into Texas, I mean, we all know the Llanos River's got gold in it, and a lot of that came in from the driven in when all of Texas was basically shoreline for the sea of the Gulf. And I look at some of these areas where, like now, where this new lease is up on the Brazos River. Well, I knew there was gold on the Brazos River when I lived in Texas, because I prospected the Brazos River and I took gold out of the Brazos River.
Okay.
So now we have a lease on the Brazos River. Are you going to go out there and run a big dredge and make a lot of gold? Absolutely not.
Gotcha.
But you are going to make some gold. You're going to prove that your equipment works. You're going to have everything else. So then when you decide that you want to go somewhere else, you've got everything dialed in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Basically, I'm paying a lot of money for people to dial in their dredges to go to Colorado.
Well, we all need a place to dial in our dredges, I guess, right? Yeah. But that's still, it's a place to get out there and put your equipment in the water and, like you said, play with it, learn it, dial it in, find a little bit of gold, and learn
Take
your
it to the Last Patriot claim.
What's that, Den?
Or take it to the, was it the Lost Patriot or Last
The
Patriot?
Forgotten Patriot.
Forgotten Patriot claim.
Yeah, take it up to Idaho and on to the Forgotten Patriot. You bet.
Forgotten Patriot. That's what it is. Okay. That's one of them Idaho ones.
Mm-hmm.
Idaho ones.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, how come you didn't do the walk for thing with Shannon?
The only reason that I wasn't there is because of the filings. That's the only reason I wasn't there. And Shannon and I talked about it. Shannon and I have talked a lot.
That would have been cool.
While he's been on the walk. But
that'd have been neat.
I just simply have to make sure that priority of making sure that our members have claims to go work on.
Oh God, yeah.
Is there. And he understood that. I mean, we laughed about it more than once. He's out there walking 12 miles a day, and he and Jerry, and they're talking about he was telling me about all the things that they found, walking on the side of the road. I don't know. I haven't seen all the videos, but, picked up some really funny stuff.
Oh, I can only imagine. You know, things you find along the side of a highway. That could be a show on its own.
Yeah, exactly.
Right there. You know, it's crazy.
No, we've supported AMRA in any way any way, shape, or form that we can. We pushed out everything that we could. Every time Shannon writes something that needs to get out, we make sure that it gets into the publications.
Oh yeah.
Of course, I go back to the fundraising that we did for them, where a portion of every membership went right over to AMRA and so on like that. And it wasn't an add-on. I mean, that came right out of our membership dollars.
Right. That's cool.
So
now I kind of heard a little rumor, something. Are you going to come to Gold Rush Days this year in Ohio, or is this just a rumor I heard?
Man, that's a rumor you've heard. I haven't even talked about Gold Rush Days yet.
That's next weekend.
Oh, is it really?
Yep.
Oh, then I'm sorry. There's no way I'll be there. I mean, that's...
Yep.
Next weekend is the final days of the filing.
Yeah, this is filing time. Right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we have... The first falls on a Sunday. The second Monday is the holiday. Right. So actually, I have till the 3rd to make sure. We have till midnight on the 3rd. But I cannot afford to wait till that period of time. I mean,
You're under the gun.
Yeah, well, BLM changed some of the rules. We used to be able to go in, and I'm not going to talk exact dollar figures, but there used to be a time where we could go in and file through the portal almost everything that we had in one day.
Right.
Now they've put spending caps on.
Really?
Oh, yeah, they've put spending caps on. And so now for us to file, it takes us multiple days. And then every time that anything goes in, the checks and balances that I've put in place, when we do a filing, the receipts come back in, they come right to me, and I sit down and I go through and I make sure that everything's done. I'm working with the counties. I've done almost all the counties, got all that taken care of. Had 2 rejections from counties on the electronic filing, which was not that big of a deal. They told me that they accepted the service that we were using, and they do, but they didn't do it for mining claims. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So I had a couple of rejections there. But I just can't walk away. It's always been my downfall. I think is that I get too involved.
Focused.
And I just can't, I can't. It's not about having control. It's about just making sure that it's the checks and balances and everything else are done. I've turned it over to this person.
Right.
They're doing their job. I just make sure that it's done, and then they make sure that I did it right as well.
Right. So yeah, because if it's not done, then they're screwed. If it's not done, we don't have claims. Right, there's no property.
Yeah, I mean, that's
plain and simple.
The BLM is a very unforgiving profit center.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like almost under their control. You do it or you'll do without. Plain and simple.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You have
and given what we do, and then plus I'm also working with a lot of our claim holders that are sharing their claims. I'm spending a lot of time with them because they're in the final parts of their paperwork as well.
Right.
And, I mean, I really want to go to Gold Rush Days.
One of these days.
I really do want to be at Gold Rush Days someday.
One of these days.
It's just not going to happen this year.
Yeah.
I had no idea that it was next week.
When it does, it's going to rain like crazy.
Probably.
That's fine. I don't mind rain. I live in Arizona, dude. We haven't had a drop of rain this entire summer. We have not had a monsoon season where I live.
Wow.
I would love to be in rain. Please.
No rain.
I'm going to go throw a speaker on a sprinkler on the roof.
There you go. Let's pretend it's raining. That's just as good. At least you could turn it off when you're done with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
The good part about that, I mean, it's the way I see it anyway. Yeah, Kevin, you've definitely been busy, and we appreciate everything you're doing out there, making sure you're getting these taken care of for all the members and stuff. I mean, it's awesome. If you wasn't doing it, who knows? So at least we know it's getting done. Everybody can rest at ease.
Yeah, if I wasn't doing it, somebody else would be doing it. I'm just glad that I'm doing it because, being around this organization for as long as I have and being out there and talking to so many of the members on a day-to-day basis whenever I'm out.
Yeah.
I listen to everything. A lot of people think that, maybe I don't listen to what they're saying, but I do. I listen to everything that's being said to me.
Right.
I may look like I'm sound asleep, but I'm listening.
Gotcha.
And the online mining guide, I can't stress that enough. I mean, that is my tool that I use to know what's going on. And I absolutely made decisions this year based upon members' use and reviews of some of the mining claims. Made the decisions based on that. And that's the first time that we've ever been able to do that.
Right.
The first time that we've been able to do that.
That's a cool thing. That is. That's progress.
You got more feedback information on it.
That's progress.
What's cool about it?
Yep.
Well, if you really think about it, we print a mining guide every 4 years.
Right.
I'm dropping claims. I've added claims. I mean, what is it? I've added 5, 6, 7, 9 claims in Idaho this year alone.
Sure.
And we printed the mining guides last year.
Yeah.
And if you came into the organization today,
you wouldn't.
And you didn't get a pick and shovel if you didn't get the last pick and shovel that had the 5 new claims in it, you don't know about them.
Right. You don't.
But now you have the online mining guide. You absolutely have the online mining guide that you can go to and you can look at it and you can see exactly what's going on.
Smartest thing ever.
Yep. Plus, you'll be able to see if we drop a claim. Right. If you got a book. If you're looking at your book and you see a claim and you go to the online mining guide and it's not on the online mining guide, we don't have it anymore.
You dropped it, right. See?
Yep.
Yeah, that's good to know. Everybody's got to take advantage of that because you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Things change.
Things do change.
Yes, they definitely do. And that's why it's a good tool. It's a good resource and use it. Take advantage of it. If you're a GPAA member, you're entitled to it. Use it. So
yeah, it is. It's interesting. I've had a few people ask me about that as a benefit, and we didn't raise the cost of membership. We didn't do anything. We absorbed every bit of the cost on that on the online mining guide.
Right.
And quite frankly, it was substantial.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because for us, it's something that helps them, helps members become better prospectors.
Right, that's a smart move. Exactly.
Yeah.
It really is because, like you said, you print the book every 4 years. It's, and now in this digital age, you could be in your car and just get out your phone and get online and look up the mining guide right there and know what you need to know. Not carrying a book around. Remember the old days they used to have to put your book on the dashboard and this and that, and I was like, it's like...
I remember the days when I would take my mining guide, and every time a pick and shovel would come in, I would run over to the Kinko's because I didn't have a computer back then. I don't even... God, was there even such thing as a computer?
Know, right.
I really don't believe that there was, the PC, the personal PC, really wasn't around at that particular point in time.
Right.
Yes, Shad, there was a time that there were no computers. And television was all in black and white.
It was, yeah. Yeah, and you had like 3 channels.
Before great-grandpa.
I think Shad checked out, didn't he?
He's there.
I sit on mute trying to talk.
Trying to talk with it on mute again.
But yeah, I would run over to the little the local copy shop and make copies of the pick and shovel of the pages with the claims in them, and then I would put those where they needed to be in my mining guide.
Okay.
And I'd always put them in with a little piece of tape because inevitably you're going to be standing out in the wind. And you're going to open it up, and there goes all your pages of all your pick and shovel things. But I just put them in with a little piece of tape. And there were a couple of times that one of the old mining guides, mine was about a third thicker because of all the all the claims that came in during that period of time that were in the pick and shovel and so on like that. So, it's a great tool,
right?
But it's not the ultimate tool. No. Right now, I think we have the ultimate tools.
Right. Do you think you'll eventually just phase out the actual paper one?
There is no discussion of that in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. All right. Just, because, I'm sure that's an expense, probably quite a huge expense to print that many copies of that big book. And in the digital age, it's like, who prints dead, it seems like, anymore. And, and so I was wondering, is this something that could happen in the near future? And still do like the pick and shovel, because, that's just like a monthly publication or so. So that's, I'm sure, less. But,
right.
It's just, I don't know. Is this the road it's going down in this digital era?
Wow. It's interesting, because I know this subject has come up a couple of times in the past in our office, in our offices. In a meeting, it came up. And I will tell you, the last time that I remember this coming up, it was like, okay, hey, gang, we just got finished printing the 2018 mining guide. Here's what the cost was. Here's what this is. We're shipping out X amount of this. The printer's handling these and taking, and all automatically shipping them to these particular members, LDMA members, lifetime members, 3-year members, yada da da. The whole 9 yards. And we were having a conversation about the expense, and it was it was almost like one of those old comedy movies, because somebody made a remark, and I don't remember who it was. It was one of the team made a remark about, do we continue printing this thing?
Yeah.
And everybody got real quiet, and everybody looked at each other, and we just changed the subject and just kept on going. It's not even, it wasn't even part of a discussion.
I'll be darned. Okay. Good answer.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's just one of them things. Just, because
it's tools. I look at it as tools in the toolbox. The print mining guide and the pick and shovel become really, really good tools. But I cannot go fix my dredge, everything on my dredge, with a 1/2-inch wrench.
Right.
So I need more tools. And the more tools that I have, the more successful I'm going to be with what I'm doing.
I agree. I guess it's like having a GPS and also having a road map in your car.
Exactly.
It's kind of the same principle.
Yeah.
And I know us old school guys, we have a GPS and we have a road atlas right there too, because it's like, well, just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I still have a compass.
Oh, see, we're getting, I'm sure that's what you used to navigate around with back in your time, but.
Oh, yeah. Shad, a compass is a little thing in a circle that the little pointy goes around and round.
No, that's me you're telling that one to. Shad's the compass guru. I'm the one that's
true.
Like,
that is true. His background, is that that's another one of those things. It's I would love to see somebody outside of the organization. This is a hint to you, Shad, that would write an article about just how to use a map and compass.
I think you would need a lot of definitions included there and reference material for people to even understand stuff.
Yeah.
But we're actually planning on talking about it soon on the show, like a little land navigation.
Yeah, like a segment.
But yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because it is a lost art, man. It
sure
really
is
a lost art. And, I think, well, I don't know if Garmin just came out with a new GPS. I haven't looked. But I've been getting an incredible amount of calls and emails from people. Or maybe they just had a big sale and a whole bunch of people went out and bought Garmin GPSs. And I'm getting all these people that have been emailing me, calling me, texting me, just contacting me.
Right.
Saying that they cannot put in the coordinates into their GPS the way they're written in the mining guide.
Really?
Yeah. Because when we did it, we did everything based on GIS mapping. So we have 33 degrees, 33, 55, 27.057. Something on the back side of it. So if you're a GPAA member and you have a GPS and you're trying to load those in, just stop at the last dot. So it'd be 33 or 35, 53, 27. That's it. That's all you put in. Just the six. Right. Don't go beyond that.
Okay.
And that's that's been the biggest thing for the last few weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's because some of the GPSs you can set them up for different minutes and everything, the way that's categorized.
Right.
When I had a GPS before, it would actually, you'd have a switch or something on it that you can change from one or the other.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. And see, my GPS, my Garmin does degrees, minutes, seconds. I can put it in as UTM. There's all sorts of different datum levels that I can go ahead and put it in. But when you have that dot and then whatever else is on the back side of it, or if you're trying to put in on UTM where you've got 56 point this sometimes it feels like infinity going on the back side of it. Just go out 3 decibels, just go out 4 decibels, because when you start getting back there, you're talking about a matter of inches, not a matter of feet or yards.
All right, here's a caller. Looks like we got a call coming in. All right, hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Are you there, caller? Yeah. Hold on. I know he was there a second ago. It looks like it's our buddy John Shaw.
Hey.
You there, John?
I'm here. You got me?
Oh, we got you now. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great. I just had a question for Kevin.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Hey, Kevin, I hadn't heard a whole lot of talk lately. Of course, I've been away a little bit, but how's the Team Endeavor going?
Well, Team Endeavor is basically waiting on some projects that can be done that doesn't require contractors. I mean, there's still some members of Team Endeavor that are ready to go at a moment's notice, but we did a lot of work at the very beginning and got a lot of things done. But we're also at that point right now where some of the things that Dominic's been dealing with absolutely require a licensed contractor. So that's, when they get the call, they get the call.
All right. Yeah, I hadn't heard a whole lot about it lately, and so I'm just kind of curious. I always thought that was a good program.
Great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then where are you, John? I think where are you located?
Okay, I'm about 100 miles south of Dallas. I'm in Texas.
100 miles south of Dallas, huh?
Yeah.
Do you head over into New Mexico and southern Arizona?
Huh? Well, like I say, 100 miles south of Dallas, Texas. It's like going down 45 headed toward Houston. Yeah, I'm 100 miles south of Dallas, down 45.
Right. Do you head west to go out and do some prospecting? Do you head over to New Mexico or head over into New Mexico or just like the southeast corner of Arizona?
I went to Ohio and North Carolina and Indiana.
Okay.
But I have found a spot here in Texas, over toward the Sabine River, a little small town. They got a little lake, and then a spillway below the lake is found a pretty good spot with some bedrock.
There you go.
Yeah,
bedrock fossils and a little bit of gold, right?
Oh yeah. Like I say, one time I did get over there with some buddies. And I was showing a new guy how to pan gold. He couldn't believe there was gold in Texas. I showed him, though. Just after some rain, so everything was running real high. Could just get right along the edges. Couldn't get out where I know some good gold would have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But was able to show him where some was. So, and it was an area he played at when he was a kid and just never knew anything about it.
I'll be darned. That's cool.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because there are places in Texas that do have gold, and some of it I can figure out how it got there. There's other parts of it I just don't know how it got there. Denton Creek, north of Dallas. Denton Creek is a spot where I've panned a little bit of gold out of, and I have no idea how it got there.
I'll be darned. One of them great anomalies.
Well, I found a little bit in my driveway, but I'm sure that was all field dirt to come in. But this little road was put in probably 40 years ago. You know, just a little dirt road down to it, and white rock, so there's no telling where it come from.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You never know. That's cool, John.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I say, I just wanted to say hello and check on that. Y'all have yourself a great evening.
You too, buddy.
You too, John. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, John.
Uh-huh.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
All right, pretty cool. Oh, that's pretty neat. Always good to hear from John. Well, Kevin, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up and let you go, brother. We want to thank you for being here and bringing us up to speed on everything that's been going on. And, you know, look forward to hearing from you again. Keep up the good work for sure, man.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
well, thank you.
I've enjoyed being back. It has been a long time.
Yeah.
But I've been really busy.
Well,
I've been really busy. I mean, I've had some people ask if I was fighting with you guys at one point in time. It was like, no, take care of my schedule for a week, and I'll go do some. I'll go do some things.
No, it's all good. That's what I said. You've been busy. That's what's good. When you came back, you had a lot to report, and that's what's cool. Yeah,
absolutely.
There's a lot of good news, and that's great. That's that's what we all want to hear always. I mean, really, and like I said, we thank you for coming back tonight and hanging out with us for a bit. We always appreciate it, and just keep up the good work, man. Really.
Thank you, and you guys keep up doing what you're doing. I love it. So keep going. Everybody out there, be good to yourself, be good to everybody else, and go prospecting. Go now.
Heck yeah.
Right. No, well, wait till the show's over, but go.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. Take care, bud.
All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Have fun.
Buddy. You too.
Right.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Kevin Hoagland. Now, man, don't forget, Tuesday night hangouts. Ed, Jess, and Dan over there on their YouTube channel. Their guest Tuesday night will be Chris Ralph, the associate editor at ICMJ, and that's 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Tuesday night hangouts. Ed, Jess, and Dano. So be sure and check them out. Shad, are you with me? Are you there?
Yeah.
What's
you
that?
ready for the gold price?
Yes, I am. I got to hear this.
All right. Well, gold is up. They did a dip right before close of last week, but we're up $30 to $1,527. So it did for a moment drop below $1,500. So looking good.
That's okay.
Silver's up 40 cents at $17.42.
Oh,
wow!
Look at her go.
Yep, it's taking off. Platinum is down $1 at $858. Palladium fell $27 to $1,459. And our friends over at the Rhodium is up $70 at $4,005.
Good Lord. The Rhodium.
They have to get me some of that.
I'm telling you, we got to get some of the Rhodium. At least a little pinch of it. I'm telling you.
A little dab.
Just a dab. Man, what is happening there? They're still good prices. I mean, they sound really good to me. We'll keep an eye on them, see what happens Wednesday, right?
That's right.
What about Dennis, birthday boy? Are you singing tonight?
Well, sure.
For your own
always,
birthday?
man.
Because we ain't singing to you. And do not, I repeat, do not turn on the video camera. Okay? Please.
Okay.
Please. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, take it away.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Amazing. Still sing that good for your own birthday.
I know, he's singing to himself today. All right, well, we have birthdays on August 25th. Bill Chokley, Brian Jorgensen, Charles Bagley, Cody Easum, Dale Frixell, Dennis Dayton, Idaho Prospecting Supply, Jim Blankenship, Joe Roberts, Nate, and Nick. Tomorrow, I can see that we have Andy Schurer, Barry Rippey, Dave, a.k.a. Mr. Five Specs, Jason Pratt, Jeffrey, Joe Bonilla, John Johnson, John Shank, and John Watkins.
Dang.
Oh, John.
Happy birthday.
And I guess for today, on 25th, we will highlight one of our very own co-hosts, Dennis Dayton, who turned, well, I won't say how old he is.
52.
52. Okay, he gave it out. But he, of course, comes from the fine town of Edinburgh, Indiana, originally from, Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, I think he's a cheesehead.
He is a big old cheesehead. Even updated his profile on Facebook to a cheesehead shirt. He loves it. But Dennis, of course, I know he joined the site back in 2014. And what was it? I mean, how long have you been on the show, Dennis?
Pretty much almost right since then, I believe.
About then, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
14, 15, 16, 17, probably. Real darn close.
So granted, Dennis, this is probably out of date, but we'll look at your profile information here. He enjoys panning, sluicing, and dredging. He belonged to the Central Indiana GPAA, but now he belongs to several others, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He found the site through a friend. Who referred him to a site? A friend.
A friend.
So it's a secret friend, evidently.
I can't even remember who it was.
But he has what kind of equipment? Of course, Dennis has quite a bit, but listed on here as the Keen 3-inch dredge, a Summit Mini Trommel, a Martin High Banker and suction dredge combo, the Gold Rush Nugget Bucket, Fisher's metal detector, and a lot more.
Sounds like a dang commercial.
Yeah, I know. And that, I mean, come on, he has, what, Gold Cube.
But wait, there's more.
There's more, yeah. The list goes on. And of course, Dennis Dayton is known as the Indiana Gold Hunter. And you can find him on YouTube. That's how we found him.
Yeah, right.
On YouTube.
It is how you found him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube.
God.
There you have it. That's our lovely Dennis Dayton.
Mm-hmm. Birthday
happy
boy.
Birthday, man, and happy birthday, everyone else.
Happy birthday, buddy.
That's right. Happy birthday, everybody. And happy birthday to Big Denny. Man, thank God you only get one a year. Right, Dennis?
No kidding, right? And 1 year's almost too much now.
I know.
So I just thought of something, right, Dennis? So you're an August birthday, right? So look back 9 months from now. What day was it? It was the end of November, right?
November.
Right after Thanksgiving. You're a Thanksgiving baby.
Oh, he probably was. Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yes, sir.
Good, gave me a bad visual.
Yeah, right.
Daddy had a big old drumstick for a turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Dopamine kicked in there, and it was like, ooh.
A little dab.
Yeah, and along
Mom,
came Dennis.
if you're listening, I'm sorry.
I know some great Marine Corps cadences that I could make.
I bet.
But I can't do it on air.
I bet you do. Oh, mercy. Yeah, and then along came Dennis. 52 years later, he's sitting here with us. My, oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh, what a day. Man, what'd you get special for your birthday, Dan?
We actually went over the weekend. We took the grandson to a place that we go, the place that I call my honey hole / glory hole.
Uh-huh.
And got him a Spider-Man fishing pole and took him fishing for the first time, and he caught his first fish. It was a big old hybrid bluegill.
I seen that picture of that fish. That thing was huge.
It was. And that was his
Man.
Caught his first fish, and, had some good old Indiana sweet corn, and just relax,
Well, that's good. That's a good birthday right there, Really is. That is cool.
Well, speaking of fishing.
Uh-oh. Yes, since he's
of course,
not here.
Scott Swiftwater Tony was supposed to show up today to be on the show with us.
Uh-huh.
And, well, he evidently, I guess he's taken up a new hobby, catfishing.
Uh-huh.
He showed off his little cart that he's evidently taken right in front of. Did you see all the cases of Natty Light beer in the background? I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I did.
But he was so excited he didn't get skunked, and he caught a little catfish today.
Oh, nice.
So I think we know that we need to mess with Swiftwater since he's not here like he was supposed to be.
Yes, we do.
So you need to post, everybody needs to post on his Facebook page something to do with catfish.
Yep.
Or catfishing.
Yep. Or he tried noodling and evidently got eaten and taken under the water and died because he's so little.
Yeah, and because he's not here. So, yeah. Uh-huh. I like that, Shed. Catfish, catfishing, or noodling. Because, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Or he went there and drank too many Natty Lights and he's sleeping on a...
What is a Natty Light? Is that a beer?
Yeah.
It's a rice beer, yeah.
Yeah. It's the beer of choice of Swiftwater. And that's Scott Tony on Facebook, everybody. You got to type in Scott Tony, not Scott Swiftwater. Type in Scott Tony. Blast that timeline full of that stuff. He
we already got it started.
He was supposed to be here. He's like, I'm going to be there. I want to be there for Kevin. I got a bunch of stuff I want to ask him. Where's Scott? Don't know.
Wrong.
Right, exactly, Rich.
You do like a Where's Scott, like Where's Waldo, but with Scott, like images.
Oh, that's another good one.
That is a good one.
Like I could just get like 1,000 images of different catfish, and you'll find his head in the mouth of one.
Yeah, and put Scott's head in.
One just now.
What, Kathleen?
I posted a funny one just now.
Did you? See?
Yeah.
Wait, I posted two, but this one.
Oh, that one's just too good. I mean, I think you can get a bunch of them on there, right?
With the new light.
Wait a minute, I'm going. I got to go look.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to start now.
Oh, that is a good one, Kathleen. That's perfect. You guys got to get in on this because this is too much fun.
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
That is perfect. That's probably Scott's arm.
Feeding the catfish a beer.
That's probably what Scott's doing down there. He ain't fishing. He's drinking with him. Oh, man. Yep. See, even John Hunt said that's what he said on Wednesday's show, that he'd be here. And he's not here. Yeah. So, hobbit fishing. He left the Shire to go catfishing.
You know what? I posted this picture of this hobbit hole when I was hiking in Alaska.
Yep.
I so wanted to make, tag Scott on it, but I'm like, no.
You gotta let Shad
he
put a
gets
picture.
really sensitive about that.
You gotta let Shad put a picture of him in front of it first.
The hobbit hole.
You have to do it, Shad. That would be too funny. That because I seen that picture of that hole, And that's it right there. And if we had Scott popping his head out of it, that would be hilarious. that would be.
I'm gonna do it.
You gotta do it. That would just be too funny. Scott takes it well.
So we think he probably cries drinking his Natty Light.
Probably.
Little cart that he bought to go catfish. You know he fits in that really good.
Well, right. That's
Why do you need a cart to go catfishing?
Because it's Scott.
All the 4 cases of beer.
Yeah, you gotta haul your beer in something. Got to be able to pull all that beer down to the river edge.
So Kathleen did ask a good question though earlier.
What's that?
About this. Now, is he going to take that one little catfish he got and go barbecue it?
There's a good question. Will Scott barbecue?
Call him right now and he would answer. We could just ask him that question.
Heck, he didn't even answer our messages in our group chat. It's like, really? Yeah, catfish. What, Kathleen?
He's still catfishing.
Yeah, the catfish must be biting, apparently. Yeah.
In Arizona?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, I guess, right? It's the hottest part of the day right there right now, probably. Yeah.
Where's catfishing at anyway?
I don't know. In Arizona, I have no clue. You know?
I didn't. It had catfish.
Is Scott?
Hey guys,
Huh?
I'm trying to get Scott. See if I can get him to answer my phone real quick.
Okay.
Let's see if we.
Let's see. Yeah. See if he answers your call.
Yeah.
Don't let him know you're still doing a show.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You may need to though, because
yeah, it's according to how many natties he's had. Fish are biting, not answering.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
No. I wonder if he's just throwing a hook out in the desert with some catnip on it. Is that catfishing to Scott? Put a mouse on the hook, cast it out in the desert, and hope for a cat.
That's funny.
I just wonder. We'll have to pick his brain on that Wednesday if he shows up. We'll have to see how the catfishing went, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Shad, do that. Get that picture of him coming out of that hole.
yeah, I'll have to work on that.
You gotta do it. That would be so funny. I can't help it. It's just too good. But anyhow, we want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. And don't forget to be here Wednesday night as well for West Coast Wednesday. Kathleen will be here. Kathleen, you going to have some stuff for us Wednesday? Or some?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Well,
nice. So Kathleen will have us some fun facts and some dredging up the news. And maybe Shad will have some of his local events of interest. And Dennis, Rich will be here. Swiftwater, who knows? We don't even know, so I can't say. But he may be here. But, yeah, thanks again for tuning in. And I guess we're out of here. Yeah, so. Kathleen?
Good night.
Gold diggers.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Be sure to tune in next Sunday at 7:30 for another great show. For updates and more info, please go to www.prospectorsradio.com.